Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. This is NS9 Bucco Brew, powered by DeFera Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo, and with me we have Jim Rosati. And Jim, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's that miserable weekend is over.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the last miserable weekend, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This was bad.
It was really bad. It was definitely their worst. I think it was their worst weekend of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, I feel like typically, especially home with big crowds, like they've performed well on the weekends. It's been like those midweek series that have been getting to them. This weekend, though, that was rough. Starting Friday with that just epic meltdown, and then you were hoping for some sort of answer, some sort of response, and you got nothing. You got nothing out of these guys.
I would have to say it's probably the Mets series, the worst weekend before this one was probably the Mets series. And that wasn't even like the full weekend. That was also on a Thursday when it started. But still, like that game was bad. That series was bad.
They won one of those games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they won one of the games, but also, things picked back up. Things have been relatively good for this season. The St. Louis Cardinals series was a low point. That was a 4-game series, also midweek. Yeah, bad weekend. Very, very bad weekend. And of course, it was against the Phillies, cross-state, air quotes, rival. I mean, it's not much of a rival, but again, it's Pennsylvania. It's Philadelphia. You want to troll them. You want to have good things. And it started looking that way at first on Friday. They jumped out to a big early lead. You thought that game was in the bag. They end up losing that in horrible fashion, thanks to the bullpen. But then Saturday comes and Bubba looks bad. The offense doesn't show up. Sunday comes. Paul Skeens shows up. He gives up 5 earned in his start. Offense doesn't show up again. Like, they just found all kinds of ways to lose all 3 games. Throwing some bad defense in there. Like, everything just looked bad.
Yeah, it was a all around bad weekend. Hopefully, skipping town, heading on a plane, going somewhere new, like creating a new setting. Hopefully that resets them a little bit. We'll see. They got St. Louis coming up and then Toronto. So, 2 teams who, on paper, the Cardinals aren't good, but then you look at the standings and what they've done lately, and they've just kept winning. Like, ever since that Pirates sweep, they just keep winning baseball games, and they're having a few players having really good years. Like Jordan Walker still hasn't cooled off, like from before. And they're figuring out a way to win some ball games. So it's going to be an interesting road trip. They have an opportunity here to bounce back and answer. And they've, to their credit, like every time they've had like that lowest of lows this year, and you're like, man, is this going to be the start of is this when it's over, right? They've responded, right? And let's see if they do it this time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's a word we've used, resilient. That's what they've shown. They've might have taken them a little longer than you hoped. You thought maybe a few times in that like Cardinal series, like, okay, this is the time we can make a stop here, stop the bleeding. They got swept in 4 games, and they got swept in 3 games in this one. Like, you can't make the losing streaks prolonged. That's the biggest difference you're hoping to see from this year opposed to last year. So let's stop the bleeding. You're going into St. Louis. You're playing the Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, we know they have, but like, it's again, just seeing this, like, they're 27-19, Jim. The St. Louis Cardinals, the team that once again you just looked past this year. They're going to be the basement dwellers. They're 27-19. I mean, they're firmly like in the wild card right now.
Yeah, they just keep, like I said, they just keep winning. I think I saw a graphic the other day. They won like 13 of 18 or something like that. They're just on a roll.
Start.
Yeah, they are on a roll. And yeah, I mean, the NL Central still to this point, May 18th, 5 teams still all above 500.
Yeah.
which is just, I mean, it's wild. There's 4 American League teams now with there's more NL Central teams with a winning record than AL teams with a winning record on May 18th.
Again, just wild. Again, and that's why like it sucks. I know a lot of people, a lot of fans are down on the season, and here we go. And it's still they're still over 500. Like they're still in the thick of things. They're in a really, really tough division. I mean, it's just wild to think and crazy that they're in 5th place. They're in last place, being 1 game over 500.
Yeah.
Now, what is frustrating about this is the fact, I mean, coming into this year, though, Jim, do we not think they're like in probably between like an 81 to 84, maybe 85 ish win team?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I mean, most of the projection systems had them around like 82 to 84 wins.
Okay. And not that they couldn't win 87 or such, right? But like
Yeah.
that's probably safely like where they're going to be. Like, isn't this the downside? I'm gonna say the word downside. Isn't this the downside to having a team that's like that? You're probably not gonna get too far above 500 into the standings. You're probably not gonna get too far below. You're just always gonna hang around 500. And what does that mean? It means every week you're back, or every week it's over. And that's what's going to be frustrating this year and especially I think 2 things. We live in a society now that it's instant gratification. You can't wait it out. 162 games is just way too long. You don't have the patience for 162 games. So we're in that culture right now where you don't have the patience to be a baseball fan, which makes it fun and interesting in itself. But also, like, and just that again, yeah, like that's what you're going to be dealing with right now with this Pirates baseball team. They're still a game over 500. They're still on pace for like an 83 win season, which is right where you put them at. Most people.
Yeah. I mean, I made a joke the other day in the game chat that we have in our Discord where it's like, I don't know how any of you people are still alive after watching 20 plus 162 games, because it seems like everyone just like lives or dies with every single inning essentially. And it's like, guys, it's not like it is like these losses count, right? Like, I don't want to be misconstrued in saying that like these games don't matter. They do matter. But there's 162 of them, and you just got to always remember that. Like I said, it's really frustrating to lose a game, but you can make the playoffs and you're going to lose. Like last year, the Reds made the playoffs and they lost 80 times.
Right.
You're going to lose a lot of games over the course of the season. And yeah, in the moment they suck, but like take a step back. Take a step
Right.
back. They're
Right.
24-23 on May 18th. The season's not over. Like nothing's over. They're very much in it, you know, whatever you want it to be, whether you want it to be a divisional race, a playoff race, whatever it is, they are in it right now. Are they playing good baseball right now? No. But they were playing good baseball last week, you know, earlier in the week. So it's just it sucks because I think we're all conditioned at this point to sort of have like football brain when we're watching stuff where like everything matters so much. And in baseball, it just doesn't. It doesn't matter all that much from game to game. Now, you start stacking losses and that's a problem. But yeah, it's frustrating. I know we do post-game shows, so I mean, we're part of the problem, I guess you could say. Like we do instant reactions 162 times a year. But you know that just kind of it is what it is. Like there's 162 of these. You're gonna have bad games. You're gonna have bad stretches. You just gotta have more good stretches than you have bad stretches.
Right. There it is. That's it. Like in the grand scheme of things, the best of the best lose 72. Is 72 that much different from 90? Not really. I mean, you have that many games, you lose 72 times, it feels like you've lost forever. That's a 90-win season. You're in the playoffs. You lost 72 times. Those 72 times you came out saying, "Oh my God, we're never going to get there. It's over." So, anyways, yeah. I mean, again, fans are great. Y'all can fan however you want. Like, I'm not here to tell you how. I'm never here to tell you how. I will offer some perspective though on that. There's still, I mean, that's what's going to be frustrating about this team. This team isn't built to be a 90-win team. They're probably going to be about a low 80s win team. And that means probably about half the time you're losing and half the time you're winning. And it's not going to be pretty. There'll be moments where it's pretty. There's going to be moments that it's ugly. And that's what we're enduring right now. Right now, we're in the ugly. Hopefully, now here's the difference. Like, again, like they have to stop it. They have to start winning. Okay. Because if you keep losing, then that's not a low 80s win team. That's a mid 70s win team. And that's the problem. That's how it was like last year. And you're not going to be in the playoffs. So, anyway, St. Louis is, again, they're not big series, but like this is going to be a big series for them. It's going to be nice. Like they need to stop. You need to stop the bleeding. They're going to St. Louis. It's in division, right? Start stacking some wins. Start stacking wins against the NL Central, like you were previously as well. Like they fared well against the NL Central, but this is your chance to start climbing back in those NL Central division standings and get St. Louis out of there. Like what is St. Louis doing in there? You can do something about that.
Yeah, I mean this is a big series because you can't let 3 games get to 4, to get to 5, to get to 6. Like you have to turn things around. And the Cardinals are a team that you're looking up at right now in the standings. And you're already like at the end of the season, you want to be able to look back and say that you won your season series against everyone in your division. If you do that, you've probably got a pretty good likelihood of winning your division. Mm-hmm. And the Cardinals right now, they're 0-3 against them. Or 0-4, sorry. 0-4. So they've got some making up to do against the St. Louis Cardinals. Right now, they're 3.5 games ahead of them in the standings. Make up some ground. Win 2 out of 3 this week in St. Louis. That would go a long way. And then heading into Toronto with, Bubba, Skeens, and Keller, you hope you can maybe steal a series there too, right? And just that's kind of looking ahead. But yes, starting the St. Louis series, like stop the bleeding, pick up a win, figure out a way to win tomorrow any way possible, and start the road trip off strong. Because you can't let this continue to slide.
Right. Cardinals with a +2 run +3 run differential. Pirates now with a +18 this weekend really killed that. But that's where we stand. Cardinals
back-to-back zeros aren't great.
12-11 at home, while the Pirates are 11-10 on the road. So, I mean, it's unfortunately as it stands right now. Again, take paper away how they've been playing. It's a pretty even matchup. With these now they are going to miss Paul Skeens, but ironically enough, Paul Skeens doesn't beat the Cardinals, so maybe that's a blessing because he's 0-5 against them.
Yeah, good point.
So, he's missing the Cardinal series. So thank God. Thank God we don't have that bum here to pitch.
Yeah, I am interested to see how they respond because they've been relatively healthy all year too. And with the loss of O'Hearn, which, we're going to talk about that. With the loss of O'Hearn, that's like their first main piece that's gone down.
Yeah. It sucks. It sucks.
Like, it does. He's been really good. He's been really good this year.
Yeah, he's the steady guy. I mean, again, him and Lau have been great additions. Lau. Now, Hearn was in a little mini slump, and he turned around. I mean, that was the talk of how he did turn around. He turned around a big way, and they're still having things come out on the broadcast about conversations with him and turn around. And while those conversations would happen, he's out now. So that sucks because like he was coming back around and like again, so take away that little mini slump he had. Lau, I feel like he's been good, but more on the streakier side. Like home runs will come in bunches, although those are bad for the Pirates. Like you mentioned, they're 0-3 when he has multi home run games. But his offense at times comes in stretches. I'm sorry, it comes in streaks where I felt like O'Hearn was just steady Eddie. They talked about like they don't know how to ball walks. Like I don't know how to define it. You just can't. But when you say professional hitter, people know what you mean. People know what you're talking about, and that's what Ron O'Hearn is. He's just a professional hitter, and that's what he is. He just does his job. He just goes up there. He has some power, not elite power by any means, right? But he can hit some home runs here and there. But the dude just goes up there and the dude just hits. And he's been very steady for this lineup, and him being out for possibly 4 weeks is going to be a bit of a blow.
Yeah, it's a big blow. And you hope the Pirates have some sort of plan here, because Saturday and Sunday,
You mean Jared
Jared
Triolo in right field?
Triolo was the starting right fielder, and it's like, come on, guys, like this can't be the plan. If one outfielder goes down, your plan can't just be outfielder Jared Triolo.
Jim, let me introduce you to the Pittsburgh Pirates. That can be their plan.
Man, yeah, I they've got to have something up their sleeves. Nick York was just optioned yesterday, so we'll see what the corresponding move is there. The Pirates said they're not going to announce it until Tuesday, prior to the game. And there's a few options that it could be. Obviously, fans, I'm sure, want it to be Jhostynxon Garcia. They want it to be Esmerlyn Valdez. One of those two would certainly get people excited. We'll see what they do.
And one of those two would absolutely make sense. It would make sense. But yeah, we'll see what they do. Let's talk about some options and such. Before we do, let's tell you a little bit about DeFair Coffee and Tea. DeFair is a family and employee-owned operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by DeFair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. And Jim, why don't you tell everyone how they can save themselves 30%?
Yeah, go to defair.coffee, DEFER.coffee. Load up your cart, put in promo code NS930, the one you see over there in the corner below Donardo, NS930, and they'll give you 30% off your entire first order from DeFair.
Boom. There it is. Good stuff, as always. So, yeah, with Ryan O'Hearn out, Jared Triolo has played back-to-back games in right field now. Both games not pretty defensively, like we saw. I mean, he had the one diving attempt, which, I mean, credit to him as not being a right fielder. That was a good attempt. He made the diving catch in right field the very first time he was in right field, last year, which was like, oh, wow, look at that. Almost seemed like the same play happened. He missed it this time, but then he has a throwing error. Yesterday, there's a ball between him and Mangum, which it just looked like he wanted no part of it, which is what made Mangum have to go chase it and dive and not even come near it. Not that this outfield has been good by any means. I'm not here trying to tell you, like, hey, if Triolo wasn't there and that was Ron O'Hearn instead, that ball would have been made. Probably not. But regardless, Jared Triolo is not the answer. You know why Jared Triolo needs to be on the team? Because he plays really good defense at third, and he can play shortstop if you need. That's why he's here, not because he can play right field.
Correct. Well, when I saw him in the lineup on Saturday, I was like, okay, whatever. Lefty starting pitcher. They want to load up the lineup with righties. I get it. Yeah. Sunday, though, they went back out and did it again. I was like, are they going to bring up an outfielder, or are we just going to do this the whole time? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do here, because just based off of the roster as it currently is, you would think that just the next man up is Jake Mangum, right? And you're going to go Reynolds, Cruz, Mangum in the outfield, in that sort of deployment. Mangum in left, Cruz in center, Reynolds in right. And that's going to be what you roll with the majority of the time. I like Jake Mangum. I like Mangum more than most people do. Like he's definitely not off to a good start of the year. He certainly has things that he needs to get under control. I think he's just fine on your team as a fourth outfield option, like a late inning defensive replacement, someone to maybe provide a spark as a pinch hitter here and there. I
But
don't
please
think you
stress
need to.
that because there's people in here like I like Jake Mangum and take that to the oh, you think Jake Mangum is good. Please stress how you like Jake Mangum on this team once again
Yeah,
for us.
I like Jake Mangum as a fourth outfielder. I like him getting sparing playing time when the time calls for it. I don't think Jake Mangum needs to be playing every day. And so far he hasn't been, right? Um, but with this injury, you've got to do something here because I don't think the answer is just, oh, we'll just play Mangum every day. I don't think that's the answer. I have a feeling that for some reason they're gonna do that. But we're gonna roll through the options, I guess, that they have available to them.
Yeah. Well, I think one that's glaring, but maybe it's not as much of a slam dunk as possible because like of a recent injury and his slow start is the password Garcia. I mean, out of camp, there was a big battle of like he should make the roster. I mean, he was killing it in spring. He should come up, but to make sense of things, and I think it was the right call. Like he's not going to get everyday at bats. It's probably best for him to go to AAA and develop. And it was really bad to start off. Now we've heard that he's battling through something, and maybe he was battling through that, and that's why it was so bad. He put him on the IL. Since he come back from the IL, that guy has been mashing. Now I know some of the stats, since returning and being in May, come from lower levels, but the dude is mashing. And now that he's in AAA, he's still mashing. So I know it's short sample, but this was a guy that you traded for. He's made the majors already for the Red Sox, albeit very, very small sample, but he's made the majors. So he's there. He had a case to make the team out of camp. And now you're hoping like this gives him the opportunity. You keep Jake Mangum in that same role. You put the password in the everyday spot, so he's still getting everyday at bats. Like that solves everything. He can be your starter. He's getting everyday at bats. You're not worried about the development. So I think he's a very valid option, Jim. I mean, right?
Certainly a valid option. Yeah. This month he's been playing a lot better. Now half of that has been on a rehab assignment in Bradenton. Half of it was this week in AAA. He started off the year terrible though. You mentioned it. He had one hit in his first 7 games in AAA, and that just put him in like a really big hole when you go 1 for 28 or whatever it was, 1 for 30. Like you're going to be having some bad numbers. Then it comes out just shortly thereafter that he's been dealing with a back injury. He gets placed on the IL, sits for about 2.5 weeks. And they did mention that like they think the reason why he wasn't playing well was because of that back injury. So yeah, he comes back on rehab. His first rehab game, homers. Third rehab game, homers. Fifth rehab game, homers. First game back from AAA. Even I was in attendance, saw him hit 3 homers back to back to back in 3 different at bats.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's certainly starting to look the part quite a bit more. And like you mentioned before, when we were in Bradenton, like there were 2 people there were 3 people who stood out to me that first week that we were down there. It was Nick Gonzalez. He was crushing the ball.
Yeah.
It was Nick York, who was hitting the ball really hard at that time. And it was Jhostynxon Garcia, who was having really good at bats, playing good defense, hitting the ball. He had a really good spring, especially like that first half. So Yeah, he was competing for a spot in spring. So you would imagine he's certainly in the mix here as someone to come up. And I feel like this was something that I had been talking about all along was, Jhostynxon Garcia, you need to get him every day at bats because at some point, something's going to happen to someone in the outfield because that's just what happens. So at some point, something's going to happen to someone in the outfield, and that's when you can call this guy up and just plug him into the lineup, and keep everyone in their current role, and then just continue along. So this offseason, this was kind of what I was thinking what would happen is the first time an outfielder goes down, password gets the call, and he steps in.
That's it. And that's why it made sense, because as a fourth outfielder, he's not going to get a whole lot of bats. Doesn't bode well for development. You want to get every day at bats. So, you know what? Like, Jake Mangum can take care of that. He's good for that role. Get password down there, get every day at bats. And that's why, like, it made sense. Like, if an injury happens in open, like we said, I forget how we worded it, because I think it was a different scenario, but regardless, like, if Mangum's injured, that's not the guy you call up, probably. Still, like, you're not calling up password. That's when you maybe call up somebody else. Maybe some of the non-roster invitees, like, some the Wenzel Davises, like those types, right? Someone they don't really care about. That's going to piss fans off. That's the guy, because you're not playing him every day. But if it's a starter that goes down, that's when you call up the password. And that's what happened. With Garcia being down. Now, the thing about password too is he also plays good defense. Like, that was also a calling card. That was also a reason why you might bring him up. There's more than just the bat, but he plays good defense, and it's in all three outfield spots. And that's something the Pirates haven't had any of this year. So, like, I'll say this, even if you if you do call him up, which makes a lot of sense, even if the bat doesn't translate right away, like, he's going to help you out somewhere. It's going to be defensively. Like, you'll see something most likely, hopefully again. But like, he'll at least provide value there. He can definitely play defense. So there is that. But the bat has been hot lately. I mean, in the month of May, especially, going here, he's batting 368, 432, slugging 895. He's got a 225 weighted runs created plus. Now, yes, like you mentioned, some of that is absolutely in the lower minors during the rehab assignment. But, just with AAA, I know it's a small sample. It's all small sample. But if we're looking just in the AAA numbers here, as my Fangraphs is fritzing out, says no data available.
You're looking just for like this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hit 375, 474 OBP, 1,000 slugging. So 1474 OPS this past week in AAA.
There you go. So, anyways, there was certainly some pedigree with him. The early part maybe wasn't so much talent as it was injury. And now that he's healthy, he seems to be back playing well. So I'm definitely good with the password coming here. Definitely good. What's another option though, Jim?
The other option that fans would like is Esmerlyn Valdez. And he's a year younger than Jhostynxon Garcia. Garcia is 23, and like you mentioned, he's got major league playing time. Valdez just turned 22 just a few months ago. He's getting his first taste of AAA. He's got 180 plate appearances under his belt, 248 average. But this is what's pretty exciting about him. He's walking about 18% of the time. He's got a 383 OBP. He's got a 462 slugging percentage. The strikeouts are down. The walks are up. He's got 7 homers on the season. He's kind of just been steady all season long. He's just been like consistently good. He's been the Ryan O'Hearn of the of the Indianapolis Indians. I guess you could
Yeah. Yeah.
call him that. He's been the guy who's been giving you really good at bats and occasionally hitting the ball over the fence. So and he's been playing right field. He's been playing a little bit of left field too. He doesn't look too out of place out there. Like he's been doing it more and more and more. This could be a time where, like, if you're looking at like who's the most deserving, right? Because you could say Garcia, you're just coming off the IL. You had 5 games in AAA. It was only 4 starts, I believe. Go ahead, ramp up a little bit more. Valdez, you've been playing every day for all season long. You've been looking good. Like, in terms of who deserves a promotion the most, it's probably Esmerlyn Valdez.
Yeah. I'm good with either. I know a lot of people are more familiar with the password, and there's a lot calling for the password. And again, not to take away, like if he is the call, makes sense. I'm good with it. Let's roll, baby. You better be starting in right field in St. Louis. Or left field, however you want to work this. But if it's not him and if it says Esmerlyn Valdez, I am also good. Like, to me, it's a coin flip. I really don't know who, if I'm forced to make the call, I don't know who. I guess the one thing is, like you mentioned, Garcia is mending. Like, he's just coming back where Valdez has been there. He's been doing it. So, like, offensively, maybe there's a little more trust in Valdez in that sense, safetyness of that. But Garcia can certainly play defense, where that is absolutely Esmerlyn's limitations there. He's not the best defender. I mean, it's fine. Now, in this outfield, like, he is a perfect Pittsburgh Pirate. You know what I mean? Like, he fits right in that. None of them are really good defenders. So it's not going to take away. It's not like, oh man, look, Esmerlyn's being exposed out there compared to what's been there before. As long as he can hit, he's going to be perfect. He'll be Ron O'Hearn up there in the major leagues too, in that sense. But yeah, so again, like, he has his limitations defensively for sure. But for the offense, yeah, like, I felt like, I mean, he started off with a bang. He cooled down a little bit towards late April. And when I say cool down, more like in the power department, because power's like been his calling card. Power's back up in May. He's hitting some home runs again. But it's just the development of Esmerlyn Valdez. Like, that's just something, I hope he becomes a major leaguer. I hope he becomes a good major leaguer, because that's something that I feel like this developmental team can stamp. Because in the lower minors, I felt like that's a cool story. Like, we saw the power. That was cool. But just striking out almost like 40% in low A, and then the other Greensboro is like 30%. And I mean, it decreased, and 30%. It's not really right off a prospect to say, oh, you're cooked. There's no way. But when you're striking out that much, it's like you're probably not a major leaguer. I mean, like Mason Martin, like a good example of that. Like, yeah, that power is great, but when you're striking out this much, like, you're probably not going to amount to anything. And well, he didn't. And like, Esmerlyn was going down that path. Like, yeah, it's a cool story, but what's going to happen in the upper minors, and then can he do it? Probably not. Well, he did. He's cut the strikeouts a lot last year. Then it's like, okay, this is a legit prospect this year in AAA, like even more. The contact rate isn't great, but it's fine. It's passable. He's been more patient at the plate. I just love the story of Esmerlyn, and I just love the person and player of Esmerlyn. So there's a little bit in my heart that wants Esmerlyn up here over Garcia in that sense, because, like, what a great story he's been.
Yeah. I would love to see Valdez. And if it was my pick, this is who I'd go with. Like, right now on May 18th, with the current situation that's happening, my pick would be Esmerlyn Valdez. He deserves the chance right now. And like you mentioned, like, just a great developmental story, because he was put on the radar in 2024, which is crazy. It was just really like 2 years ago, but that's when he led he led the Florida State League with 22 homers. And I was like, okay, like that's something, right? But like you mentioned, he was striking in 31% of the time. You're not a serious prospect if you're striking out 31% of the time in low A. Like you're just not. Then last year, you saw the power continue, 26 homers. You saw the strikeout rate cut to 25%, which is more in line with, okay, we can work with that. And then this year, strikeout rate dropped to 22%, which is even better. Walk rate sky high. I've seen him a few times this season. We saw him in the Arizona Fall League last year. The thing that impresses me the most about Valdez is just the approach, especially when he was like new to the level. Like I saw him that opening weekend in AAA, and he really wasn't trying to do too much. Like it would have been super easy for him to like, okay, I'm in AAA now. Let me make a splash and try to lift everything and pull everything. But he didn't. He was like, I'm gonna just kind of take what people give me, and it ended up meaning he took a lot of walks because he wasn't chasing, and it led him to a lot of just like base hits, opposite field singles, just line drive, base hits to right field. It was an impressive approach that I don't recall ever really seeing from him, because when he was in the Arizona Fall League, he was in mash mode. Like he was
Oh
just
yeah.
launching baseballs. And so there's a question here from Bucco Commish saying, like, is there any worries about not being able to pull the ball? I've seen Esmerlyn Valdez pull the ball, and it's to answer the question, like, no. I think what he was doing, especially early on in this year, is he was just like, you know what, I'm going to take what the pitchers give me. I'm going to learn a little bit about AAA, and you just saw him peppering pitches to right field. Lately, it's been a little bit more different. He is pulling the ball more. His homer that he hit this week was, dead pull. He crushed it. So like he can do it. Like he's to the point where I think he's adjusted to the level and he's feeling more and more comfortable. And I think that's the reason why I would give him this promotion, is just like the approach that he has at the plate. It seems so advanced for a 22-year-old at this level. I'd give him a shot, because if he can take that approach that he had, especially early on in the year, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to take what the pitchers are giving me, and it's leading to a walk or a base hit. And then as he gets more comfortable, he gets more aggressive. Like I think this is, if I'm Ben Cherington, my move tomorrow is for Esmerlyn Valdez to meet the team in St. Louis and be my starting right fielder.
I love it. Sorry, I'm like in the middle of trying to pull something up right now.
I'll add
But
this to, while you're looking that up, like in terms of, I know, like, we have Dan Zimborski on every year too. And, so
yes,
we talk a
yes.
little bit about
Speak
the
this.
Zips projections. Like Zips likes Valdez. Zips likes Valdez more than they like Garcia. Zips projects Valdez right now, as he is, to have a 724 OPS in the majors, which is essentially league average. Garcia, on the other hand, Zips is projecting at 684 OPS. Now the difference is Garcia is going to provide you a little bit better defense. But yeah, you got a spray chart up here, it looks like.
Yeah, this is Esmerlin's spray chart this year. Those balls are everywhere. He pulls, he hits away, hits dead. Like it's everywhere. There's not much I dislike about Esmerlyn Valdez. Again, like defensively, he has limits. Where will he play? Like, where's his official position if and when he makes the majors and is a mainstay? That's to be determined. Hopefully, he can be a little bit of like what Orion O'Hearn is right now. Like the offense is good enough where it's fine. It's passable in the outfield for him. His calling card is going to be the bat. And so far, like, that is what it is. Like, he is hitting now, and that's also, like, again, to me, like, what's impressive is the fact that it did not Greensboro, like, when he got the promotion to Greensboro, there was certainly an adjustment period. I'm sorry, not Greensboro, Altoona. Went from Greensboro to
Mhm.
Altoona. There was
Yep.
certainly an adjustment period. He didn't go to Altoona and just start raking. It took some time, but the thing was, after a bit of time, the raking, it came back. He was hitting in Altoona, and then, of course, he goes to Arizona Fall League, and yes, that he was the story of baseball, just in baseball. Everyone's talking about Esmerlyn. When he comes to AAA, like, I felt like there wasn't, like, an adjustment period for him, as you're talking about, like, he went to AAA and he just started producing, like, from day one. I mean, through the end of April, he had a 127 weighted runs created plus. It wasn't like, "Oh, it's through April and it's like a 90." You see him starting to turn on, and now it's in May, and like, "Oh, and now in May, we're doing good." He's still doing good. He was doing good. He's just simply been doing good. And like you mentioned, it's in ways that it looks legit. I mean, there's everything about his game right now just seems like he's a for real prospect. And yeah, again, we talked about Garcia. I'm good with Garcia. We talked Esmerlyn. I'm good with Esmerlyn too. I would love to see Esmerlyn like get reward and say, you know what? I know it's because of an injury. That's not cool. It's not great, but we need you. You're deserving of it. You've earned it. Here's your call, kid. And he's gonna come up with the biggest smile. And there's that.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too I like about Valdez, and I found this out in the fall league too when we were talking to some folks down there. It's like he's hitting the fastball extremely well this season in AAA, but he also like he can hit breaking balls too, and he's punishing sliders right now. So like you think like those are the two pitches you see the most in the majors are a fastball slider, and those are the two pitches that he handles. So I just feel like it's a good fit. I know there probably is going to be an adjustment period for Valdez. Like you kind of have to expect it, but I think it can be quick. And I think if he's able to keep the approach that he's had all season, that adjustment level, I mean that adjustment period can be limited because he's not trying to do too much. Like if he can
Mhm.
stick to that approach where I'm going to wait for my pitch, I'm not going to chase pitches, I'm going to draw walks when they're there, and I'm just going to take what the pitcher's giving to me. I think he could have success at the major league level. So, yeah, I would give him a shot and I'd be like, Valdez, you earned this. Just don't do anything different. Like, do what got you here and see how it goes for a month.
Yeah. I just want to add some things here. You mentioned about the chase. He's not chasing 24.23% of the time. His chase rate, 67 percentile. Like that's strong. He's not chasing pitches. He's not swinging the bat a whole lot. He's only swinging 41% of the time, which is 25 percentile. That's like you said, like he's waiting for his pitch. Like when he sees the pitch that he wants, he swings and he does damage. And he certainly does damage. The one thing that does worry me though is the contact rate. It's not great. Now again, like it's passable, it's fine. He's doing what he's doing with it. Like that, I'm not looking at that saying like, oh, he's not going to this won't translate.
Mhm.
But that there are still some concerns. There's still some swing and miss to his game. Again, the strikeouts have certainly dropped. He's getting on base by walk, but the contact rate, it's not elite, it's not good. But with everything else in his game, it can be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's certainly the knock right now. I think his defense is good enough that,
Mhm.
especially if you're replacing Ryan O'Hearn, like you're not. I don't think you're going to notice a drop off between right field defense with Ryan O'Hearn and Esmerlyn Valdez.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead. Well, do you have anything else on Garcia or Valdez?
No, that Valdez would be my pick as of right now.
All right. Love it. Let's go ahead and kick it on and over to Cody. We'll talk about some other options that are technically on the table you won't like.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So, Jim, those were the 2 sexy names, the 2 prospects, the 2 guys that people are probably familiar with. They know of the young talent upcoming. Let's see them. Let's see the kids, right? The fruits of our labor in this development. That's kind of changing around. You're seeing some hitters. But it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it is Ben Cherington still. And those are the ones that make sense, that make fans happy. So we know deep down that's not what's going to happen because fans don't tend to be happy.
We're
Ben
not allowed to be
Cherington
happy.
Finds a way to stab us in the heart.
We're Pirates fans. We can't be happy.
Right. So even though those are 2 logical, in our eyes, logical call-ups that could happen, what are the logical call-ups in Ben Cherington's eyes, do you think? Let's start with the first one. The guy that, I don't know, maybe Ben's been trying to acquire time and time again and finally got his hands on him this offseason with the trade from the Reds.
Yeah. If you're looking for someone who would make a decent bench player because of the versatility, and by decent, like decent is in quotation marks here, but someone who would make a bench player, someone you could play at third, someone you could put in the outfield, someone you could put at second. Tyler Callihan is the other member of the 40-man roster who's in Indianapolis, who could theoretically be in line for a promotion. Acquired late in the spring, and yeah, like you mentioned, the all accounts seem to point towards the Pirates have been after Tyler Callihan for some time. Like they've been wanting Tyler Callihan from Cincinnati for a while, and they finally got him. They got him this offseason. Late in spring training, didn't really have a whole lot of time to make any sort of impression. He goes to AAA, and it hasn't been the greatest start for Tyler Callihan in AAA at all. This week when I saw him, he did homer this week when I saw him. So there was that. But overall, I mean, he's hitting 225, 299 on base percentage, and a 369 slugging percentage in AAA. That's good for a 73 weighted runs created plus. That is quite poor. But he's on the 40-man roster. He has position flexibility, and Ben Cherington seems to like him a lot.
Most importantly, that last part. And like the thing about that is, well, if you call him up, Jim, then you can still allow Esmerlyn to develop. You can still allow Garcia to develop. You know, you're not touching them. That's why you brought in Callihan, because he's made the majors. You don't have to worry about his development. You call him up when it's needed. And you know what, Jim, even though you said all those numbers about AAA, yeah, but, you know, it's a slow start. In the month of May, he's got a 104 weighted runs created plus. He's a league average hitter in AAA. So he's fine.
There you go.
Yeah. Now in the month of May, he's batting 259 .317, slugging .500, even though he's striking out almost 32% of the time in the month of May. Yeah, this one is the one that's going to piss fans off. And ultimately, again, like you made the trade for him. It was like a nothing burger kind of trade. I mean, at the time, Kyle Nicholas, he has stuff for sure, but so does Justin Lawrence. We're talking about Justin Lawrence should be DFA'd. Cincinnati Reds are kind of talking about Kyle Crick, like why is he on this team whenever he's on the team? So that's why the trade was like a nothing thing. Like, yeah, there's certainly stuff there, but is Kyle Crick really going to become a major leaguer ever? Probably not. And that's why you get a guy in return who you say, is he ever going to be a major leaguer? Probably not. And that's who we're talking about. That could be someone that Ben calls up because Ben liked him. And we know about players that when Ben wants someone and he gets his hands on them, it usually means they're not good. So, but he's going to find out.
Well, yeah. The last person
Like, well,
you know,
yeah.
who Callihan kind of reminds me of. Maybe this is a poor comparison, but in terms of someone where, like, someone that Ben Cherington identified as in, we need this guy, and then they finally got him. It sounds an awful lot like our boy Tuke.
Oh, yeah.
Ben was trying to acquire Tucupita Marcano for years, was finally able to do it. And yeah, we all know how that turned out. But yeah, same thing here. Callihan was someone who's been on the radar for the Pirates for a bit. They finally get him. He's still sort of like young-ish. He's 25 years old. So like I guess you could still kind of call him like a fringy borderline prospect. He doesn't technically qualify as a prospect because of all the service time he got from when he ran into a wall and spent a year on the IL. But yeah, this would be a pick that I would not be too thrilled with this because this isn't what you need. Like Tyler Callihan is not what you need. Tyler Callihan would symbolize everyday player Jake Mangum for the next 4 weeks is what that would mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that. Like straight up, I don't want that. I want Jake Mangum on the team. I want him playing in as a fourth outfielder. I do not want Jake Mangum playing every single day. And calling up Tyler Callihan would almost surely be doing that because you're not going to play Tyler Callihan. Like he's going to be on your bench as a left-handed pinch hit bat and someone to spell people. But that's what would happen if you call up Callihan.
Right. And I also just kind of say this. Yes, like all that's true. And that's the difference. Like if Garcia's up here, if Esmerlyn's up here, I feel kind of good. I feel good about this team still. And the prospects and they could struggle. Like absolutely. I mean, even Connor Griffin struggled initially. You know, like that absolutely can happen. But I feel like this, like they give this team an opportunity, a chance, you know, with their bat, the damage they could potentially do. Callihan, I don't feel that way. You know, it's like you said, there's probably Mangum there. So that's a bit of a difference. Like I want Mangum as the fourth outfielder. I like you said, I like Mangum for the role that he's playing. Not I like Mangum, so let me find ways to get his bat in here. The thing about Callihan too is like they just optioned Nick York. Like, isn't he just a left-handed version of Nick York? You hope, and that's that, and also you hope for. There's no guarantees even Nick York. You option Nick York to maybe get a left-handed version of a guy that you hope can be Nick York. And by the way, Nick York wasn't too exciting. So like that's what Callihan kind of gives you. Okay. Yeah, this team definitely took a hit here.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the move, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if this was the move, but I don't think it's going to be the move.
So, who's the other non-prospect that it could be the move? And there's certainly some merit as to why.
Ronny Simon. That's
Fans
the
just
other
vomited in their mouths.
that's the other option, right? And if you're looking at someone who is quote unquote deserving, right? I'll say this about Ronny Simon. Like the dude like put his body on the line for a 71 win team last year. Gets hurt, injured for the rest of the season. The Pirates, I think, pretty much just like kind of do him a solid. They're like, yeah, we'll bring you back. Thank you for risking your life for this terrible team. They bring him back on a minor league deal, and he has raked. He has raked in Indy. Now, kind of your typical, like, he's not really a prospect anymore. He's been in AAA for 3 years, so like you would hope that he's pretty much got this level down. But he's hitting 341. He's slugging 486. He's getting on base at a 425 clip. He's hitting the ball really well. He can also play corner outfield, left field, right field. The Pirates have not used him in the infield at all ever since acquiring him. It's only been in the outfield, which, if you remember correctly, he got, ceremoniously DFA'd by the Marlins last year after I think he made 4 errors in
Oh, was it?
it was either 3 errors in like 1 inning or 4. It was awful. He made a bunch of errors at second base. He was like crying on it was rough. It was rough. It was like one of the roughest innings you'll ever see a player have. So the Marlins are like, we can't keep you anymore. Like this is not going to work. Pirates pick him up and had some limited playing time in the majors last year. Didn't really do anything with it. He played 8 games for the Pirates. But yeah, he's been crushing the ball. Been crushing the ball in Indy. He would require a 40-man roster move to be added to the team. So that is the other wrinkle in all of this. But Ronny Simon is certainly, if you're just looking at results, he is more deserving than Tyler Callihan. Let's just say that.
I agree. So this is the one that, like fans are going to say, oh my God, Ronny Simon, are you kidding me? Now, I'm not here advocating for this. All I'm trying to say is this would make more sense than Tyler Callihan. So if for some reason they decide we don't want to touch Garcia or Valdez yet, we just don't want to mess with them. We want to keep their progress going. Their development is more important. I would much rather be Simon than Callihan for the reason you just mentioned. Like Callihan is not producing in AAA, where Ronny Simon's crushing it. And again, he should be, but he is. Like he is. Callahan's not, and he should be also. It's like that's the difference between the two. You look at his, the numbers behind things, the metrics and such. Like it's pretty good stuff there. So I still don't like the thing is too is like, are you calling Simon up to be the everyday player like that? That's all. I mean, it's still probably Mangum, so it doesn't really fix that problem. But again, of those two, if those two are the choices, I'm going with Simon. Here is something I do want to say, and it's because you brought up at the very end there too, that fans might actually appreciate the Simon call up more than it seems on paper. Because the 3 that we mentioned, and that's what's cool about the prospects, is they're on the 40-man. So calling any of those guys up doesn't require anything to happen. If you call up Ronny Simon, you have to DFA someone. You have to. And this is why fans might get excited secondarily, because someone has to get DFA'd. And if you're going to DFA somebody on this team, I don't know, it might be a reliever. I'm not here. I don't like the demise of people, but like that might require Justin Lawrence to get DFA'd. And I think fans, speaking for fans, will appreciate that. And here's the thing too. Yesterday, who pitched just 2 innings in their Well, it was a start scheduled for Saturday, which got moved to Sunday, and he didn't start. So who pitched just 2 innings, Jim?
Wilbur Dotel.
Oh, that's interesting. Just 2 innings?
Just 2 innings.
So if an off day's today and the first game in St. Louis is Tuesday, is he potentially ready
Yes,
in a bullpen role?
he is.
So maybe a Ronny Simon's not coming by himself if he's the call.
Maybe.
So that's all I'll say. And this is not me to say Simon's the right call, but I'm just saying that I think fans will not hate this move as much because it also comes with that move. And I think that move is something fans would appreciate. So there's that caveat to Ronny Simon getting called up. Someone has to get DFA'd.
Yeah. That does seem like a logical move. You also could always, I guess there's like Urquidy, you could DFA. So there's a way to make it so that, but the Dotel pitching 2 innings yesterday is somewhat interesting because he had already been a week without pitching. And so Saturday's Indy game was rained out, but even before the rain out, he was scratched from that start. So it's like something was in the works. It seemed, and then Sunday he does pitch out of the bullpen, 2 innings, faces 8 batters. So yeah, are the Pirates gearing him up for a call up to join the bullpen? Like, hey, make sure you work out of the bullpen this week and not start, so that way we can bring you up and you're ready. Like that seems logical just based off of the evidence that we saw from this weekend. And so yeah, that would require 2 people coming up and 1 more person leaving the team, with Nick York being optioned yesterday. So that's certainly a possibility. Certainly a possibility. Or you could just call up Dotel and option somebody. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll see what happens tomorrow, apparently. But yeah, Simon is certainly the other option.
For sure. Yeah. And again, like, you could also call up Esmerlyn, and like Dotel could be coming regardless. Also, there's certainly ways, but again, Simon would require some being DFA'd, and that makes even more sense of Dotel coming up if that's the case.
The issue I'm going to have with a Ronny Simon call up though is it's still what that means is everyday outfielder Jake Mangum, and like I think that's just what I'd like to avoid. Like I want to keep Jake Mangum as the 4th outfielder. So in my eyes, like the answer has to be Garcia or Valdez. I have my doubts that that's what they're going to do, which just, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me to not go that route. Like you gotta win some games. I think you got to go with upside here. And those 2 guys offer that.
I agree. And I think everyone who's listening right now, opposed to 2 players' parents, if they're listening, all agree. The parents might agree too. I don't know. But no, I'm with you, man. I am absolutely with you. But I think it's not a right case. There is a case for the other 2, as we mentioned. But I think the right call is one of Esmerlyn or Garcia. So we'll find out soon, though. That's for sure. I mean, I'm sure within the next 32 hours, we'll know. So there's that. And then fans will be pissed off either way, I'm sure, actually. I said those 2,
I think
they'll still be pissed off.
I think if it's Valdez or Garcia, you won't see too many people upset.
Somehow or another, fans, because like Ben's going to do something like that's it. We're Pirates fans. We can't.
That's
happy.
true. It's not.
You know
it's not going to be.
Something's gonna happen. Like this.
It's not going to be what we want. Yeah.
But either way, there's that. Let's go Bucks. They got the Cardinal series coming up, and then of course Toronto. But you'll be at the Toronto series also.
I will be in Toronto for that series. Yeah.
Yeah. Doug might be in St. Louis. You going to be in Toronto. So there's that. Although Doug doesn't sound too positive about being St. Louis anymore after this series, but he did have intentions of going there. I know that. Anyway, so that's our show. Anything else that you want to say before we get out of here?
No, I was trying to find out, like, with this this slide that the Pirates had, what they had them at in terms of a win total over and under on FanDuel. I don't see them on the board right now, but they are currently to win the NL Central plus 950. Plus 950. So their odds have significantly dropped over the last week or so. They're third. They're third by a lot behind the Cubs and Brewers.
That just means
More
more
value.
money
Yeah.
for your correctness of them winning.
There you go.
Hey, Cubs are 4-6 in the last 10.
Slide starting. PCA's yelling at fans.
I know,
Did you
right?
see that?
Yeah. After the lights
Just
go
a
out,
terrible, yeah, just a terrible person.
just a garbage human being.
Just like we knew he was.
There it is. He is what we thought he was. Link is in the description here. June 13th is our tailgate. Go ahead and get yourself your tickets to go to the game. Doug, now I'll say this. I haven't looked. We all know Doug's a man of the people, though. So I take this for his word. But as things stand, no days off, rotation lines up. Paul Skeens is slated to start on our tailgate again.
Okay.
June 13th.
That's going out quite a bit. Yeah.
Hey, but again, it's Doug we're talking about. Trust Doug with all of my heart. So June 13th is our tailgate. Go ahead and get your tickets. Come with preloaded $10 value on it. Also, after the game, we'll be able to go out and play catch. As mentioned, it's your opportunity to try out for the Pirates bullpen. So bring your glove, warm up your arm, be ready. Outside of that, check out Alex's Offbeat Monday through Friday. That show's out already. And we'll be back tomorrow with a post game.
Yep. Yeah, let's go win some games.
Desperately and plurally. Games. Yes. Rosati curse across the border. Can't wait.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. Maybe the border stops the curse. We'll see.
Maybe that's
also, it hasn't been a curse this year.
I was gonna say, to be fair, it
It's
hasn't.
pretty, yeah.
So maybe
It's
crossing the
playing
border brings it back.
That's
Maybe you
possible.
left it at the border last time you were there.
I haven't been to Canada in a while.
Oh, I thought you were there last year. My bad.
No.
Never mind. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Love y'all.
Go
Appreciate
Bucks.
y'all.
Go
Appreciate
Bucks.
you guys. Like, comment, tell your friend to tell his friend to subscribe. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you guys. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.